Despite the unconstitutional, illegal overnight raid on houses of PTI party leaders and workers, people across Pakistan came out to demand Imran Khan's release, who has been unjustly held in custody for the last 321 days. Countrywide protests were announced by PTI demanding the release of political prisoners, including PTI's senior leadership, party workers, and supporters, as well as the return of the Pakistani People's Mandate, which the military regime attempted to stop by imposing ban on public gatherings through a colonial law. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Secretary for the Organization of International Chapters, Mr. Sajjad Burki, has announced the schedule for protests in France, Ireland, the UK, and in Australia this weekend. In his post on X, Mr. Burki said that a day of protests will be held all over the UK on Sunday, the 23rd, to highlight the illegal reign of terror in Pakistan, to demand the release of political prisoners, including the party's founding chairman, Mr. Imran Khan, to condemn the harassment of judges by the establishment, and to demand that the stolen mandate of the people of Pakistan be returned. One of the senior-most judges in the country, Chief Justice Lahore High Court, has said, quote, "State departments are causing serious threats to and harassing the courts and their staff, along with creating hurdles and procedures," end quote. His written remarks were in the case of an anti-terrorism court judge who revealed threats and intimidation by the ISI, the country's powerful intelligence agency. The military has sought to pressure the courts into falsely convicting PTI workers illegally arrested after the false flag events of May 9th last year. A two-member bench comprising the Chief Justice of Pakistan and Justice Naeem Akhtar Afghan heard the ECP's petition filed against Lahore High Court's verdict, which constituted election tribunals regarding multiple constituencies in Punjab. The Election Commission contended that under the Constitution, the power to appoint the election tribunals was vested in the electoral body and that it did not need to consult the relevant High Court's Chief Justice for appointing election tribunals. The Supreme Court dismissed the Election Commission of Pakistan's plea, sending the case to a three-member Supreme Court Committee for the constitution of a larger bench over the said issue. Reuters reported in the early hours of Friday that the United States and China resumed semi-official nuclear arms talks in March for the first time in 5 years, with Beijing's representatives telling U.S. counterparts that they would not resort to atomic threats over Taiwan, according to two American delegates who attended. The informal discussions between the nuclear-armed powers took place with the U.S. and China at odds over major economic and geopolitical issues, with leaders in Washington and Beijing accusing each other of dealing in bad faith. The two countries briefly resumed Track 1 talks over nuclear arms in November, but those negotiations have since stalled. The Track 2 talks are part of a two-decade nuclear weapons and posture dialogue that stalled after the Trump administration pulled funding in 2019.